worked. Greetings, everybody. We are live now.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, let's see here. I'm going to go through my stuff. Welcome to Shroud of the Avatar's 140th release live stream. Each month we have a live stream after we publish the major update. This month's update went live on July 28th. Usually we have a live stream on the Friday following the release. This month the live stream is on a Saturday due to my traveling back from Austin yesterday. Shroud of the Avatar is a free-to-play online game with over 400 zones to explore, with even more player-created towns and dungeons. Follow us here on Twitch at /Shroud of the Avatar, on Facebook at /Shroud of the Avatar, or via RSS on our website, shroudoftheavatar.com. The client can be downloaded via Steam or directly through our website for free. We also have 3 optional subscription tiers to help support the game development. Subscription plans page can be found on our website in the store menu. So we have at least one live stream a month providing updates on game development as well as upcoming events and sales. Today we will have at least 2 prizing giveaways at the end of the first hour and 1 more for each hour after that. To enter, type the phrase "gust of awe" into any in-game chat, including whispers, or make a purchase on the website. Players can enter the phrase in-game or make a purchase on the website prior to the drawing, anytime prior to the drawing on the day of the stream to enter. And we will add a bonus round of prize drawings for each hype train level completed by the folks watching the stream in Twitch. Hype trains are reset every hour, so you have an opportunity to add more prizes every hour of the stream. All right. So with all that, that's the preamble. I am Ravalox, and I am the chief cook and bottle washer for the game. And I am joined today by a number of us. So we'll start with Allium.
I'm Allium, or my player character is Allium. Although if you're going to randomly send me friend requests, send them to Allium. I'm in charge of patch notes and release notes and making new items and some small bug fixes for crafting and scenes. I've filled a lot of stuck spots last month, for instance.
Definitely expanding your realms. Don't forget that something about some brigade of some kind that you are involved with, right?
Well, there are several of us who are in the stream who are involved in the Bug Brigade. But yes, the Bug Brigade allows you to sign up for rewards for bug reporting and testing fixes, and we have a 5th anniversary party coming up, which we'll talk more about later.
Okay, good. All right. Mr.
Are you ghosted?
Am I?
Are all of you ghosted? Yeah, the community seems to not be able to see you.
Oh, okay. All right, hold on a second. Let me get this out of the way. There we go. I am no longer ghosted. Okay, so Mr. Nimron.
Hello, I'm Scott Jones, also known as Nimrod Ionescu in the game. I am and have been for a while one of the primary artists for Shroud of the Avatar. Now that we are a smaller team, I'm largely the art director, trying to kind of oversee a bunch of stuff as we try to pull the art into the realm of some of the newest stuff that we're trying to work on, trying to update stuff, trying to make things better, and trying to work on fixes for older stuff that that had gone, gone on the wayside while we were figuring out how we were going to be kind of managing this the new world order, so to speak, as we kind of try to carry this game forward into the late 2020s. So right now, I'm doing a bunch of stuff concerning the houses, trying to do housing fixes. And sooner than later, I'll be jumping into creating new houses and new stuff that people can enjoy as well. Largely, me going back and fixing houses and things like that is more of an attempt to get myself into that realm, because it had been the realm of a former artist before. But I'll talk about all that stuff later on. That's essentially who I am and what I'm doing these days.
Excellent. And then we have, I believe it's Lainey.
It's me. I'm super excited to get to join today. Normally, you guys do this when I'm at work, so I don't get to participate as often as I would like to. My job with the team, well, is to be the mailer of all things, and I answer the support inbox and whatever else these guys tell me to do that typically requires a spreadsheet.
And she's being a little modest, but she's also starting to dip her hand into the itemization world as well.
A little bit. Tester of houses and,
Maker of
Good stuff.
cloaks.
maker of cloaks, all the whatnots.
All the whatnots. There you go. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so yeah, so we have a bunch of stuff to talk about, and we're gonna get to that second. I'm gonna do a little housekeeping here first. So, two items mainly that I want to talk about. One is double XP. Double XP was not canceled. Double XP was not scheduled, and at this point, it will never be scheduled. If it ever happens, it will be an on-the-fly, very short time frame type of special thing. Right now, we decided not to do this. We've been backing off of double XP for the last actually 2.5 years. And the main reason is that double XP is easily exploitable and is abused each time it's in place, causing many accounts to be banned for AFK botting play. And I mean, it's a big spike every time we put it up. So, and I fear that, well, pretty much know that normally good players who don't do AFK botting get wrapped up into it and convinced by other players that it's okay to do, and they suffer because of it. So in any event, there's many hours of extra cleanup involved in this, and it has to do with the botters. Banning somebody is not something we do lightly, and we have to investigate each one, verify that they're actually doing botting, which we can do. Everything you do is logged, so that has to be done. Then the paperwork after the banning, and there is paperwork because everything has to be documented. That's about it. So there's a lot of stuff involved. It's not an automatic process to ban somebody here. So,
and as a side note, there's been talk of how we are objecting to hoarding lately, and that's not entirely true. I clarified this on Discord, and someone's been going around quoting half of what I said to say, Allie said hoarding's okay. They must have mixed messages going. No, that's not it.
yeah.
Hoarding in general is okay. I mean, if it weren't, my player character would be in trouble too.
Same.
Yeah. Hoarding because you're saving up for double XP, that increases the chances that the only way that you're going to be able to get through your hoard is to bot when there's double XP. So that's the hoarding that we don't want happening.
Yeah, it's a game-breaking mechanic, which was never intended to be part of the game. It's not a feature. It was a break fix for a problem, and the problem doesn't exist anymore. So it's not something. The players have developed a situation where it seems like there's an expectation of entitlement for it, or that it's part of the game, and it's not.
And we should also be really clear when we say, by saying that players, a small group of very loud players. So if anyone tells you the double XP is coming, if anyone tells you, oh, well, we always get this and we will get that, they don't have information. If it's been reported in the patch notes or in a monthly newsletter that you see or officially reported somewhere, then you can count on that. If it hasn't been, then it's rumor and you shouldn't count on it.
That is correct. Yep. So, oh, and as far as the hoarding is concerned, the original point where we were talking about hoarding was specifically for the streamer rewards. That's the one that we really are concerned about. That those reward
Streamer
bundles, the streamer bundles that are held by the streamers, they should only have the ones that they're giving away. If they win bundles, they should be opening those bundles. Because again, it's adding more work for us to track all this stuff, and so the bottom line is that we can put a mechanic in place to expire the bundles, but we don't want to have to make that change. We want to move towards a Twitch drop structure, which will solve all those problems. But until we could get there, we're asking all the streamers to, be mindful of anything that if somebody sends them a streamer bundle as a gift, or they win one on somebody's stream, they should open it and utilize it just like a regular player. So that way they only maintain the bundles in their inventory or bank that they're going to be giving away on stream. So that's a little side note for that. So the last point on the double XP is, so given the vitriol that we've seen from the players demanding what they feel is the entitlement, we feel that double XP is absolutely just a blight, and based on everything I just said about how it can be exploited. So, and that'll be that's the end of that. That's our official statement on the double XP. So at this point, I think there's a thread out there that's still being open where there's theories going back and forth and stuff like that, and those threads need to be closed down now, because this is the official statement. It's done. That's what it is. Okay, so the second one is the game rollback that happened on Monday, happened on Tuesday, right? So basically on Monday, we deployed the update for release 140. There was a problem with the Marble 3 connection foyer, that's the brown one, that caused the rooms of existing dungeons to disconnect. And then the safety system that's already built into the dungeon system in the game felt that those rooms were orphaned or abandoned. So the game, to protect everybody, the players and the system, sends everything that's in those rooms back to your inventory. And of course, this destroyed or collapsed dungeons that have been in existence for years, and some of those dungeons were pretty extensive. Once the dungeon falls, there's no way to recover it. Basically, even if I went into an old backup of the database and tried to copy that table over, there's references to all other stuff in the game. There's been some armchair discussion on SQL and databases and stuff like that. And the bottom line there is that databases, whether it be SQL or Mongo or whatever, are storage areas. They do not. I mean, if you're talking about like a relational database like Access or something like that, then yeah, there's linking in there, but databases don't self-heal. It takes the code on the other side to actually do that. So in this situation, the game isn't written to do that. So if the dungeon is removed, it's similar to other things. Like if you have a lot, if you have your house and it fell, and then we went to go replace it, restore your character's stuff, there's links in that to all sorts of different things, especially when you talk about a house. Other players could place something onto your lot, and that creates a link to their tables in the database. Dungeons are a little bit different, but we still have that problem where there's relational information, but it's not a relational database on on the Mongo side, it's relational in our code, and our code doesn't have the utilities written into it to be able to restore that stuff back without corrupting the rest of the game. So if I restored somebody's dungeon, I wouldn't be able to know for sure if the rest of the game might start having signs of data mismatch, and of course that would cause the entire game to have to roll back anyway. Those of you who were around, I guess 3 years and something ago, when
Or
we
release 106.
yeah released 106, so that's quite some time ago. That's the last time we had rollbacks, and we took the game down and kept it down for a week. It was like, what, 9 days total, I think. And that's what we were doing for that time. We were trying to actually restore tables into the database. And this is how Devil Cult and I found that all this stuff was interlinked that way, and not in a way that I normally would have expected. So that's why we ended up having to do the rollback back then, which of course is referred to as the dark times by veteran players.
Make it day again.
Oh yeah, sure. So the bottom line here is that it was pretty obvious immediately when this happened that you were going to have to, roll back to correct the issue. We just had to determine what caused the problem with the dungeon. So we did that. We actually figured it all out. I guess it was within a few hours of the report. Of course, because I was sleeping after the deployment. But once I got up and looked into it, we figured it out. We started building a patch right away. A patch takes about 7.5 hours to do, and we wanted to make sure that it was accurate, because again, if we did something that screwed up the database, it would make the situation worse. So we built a patch on QA first and asked players to come on to QA and test, and they did. And we validated everything was good. That was the right fix. And as soon as that patch was done, and I shouldn't say and because it sounds like it's sequential, we did the 7.5 hour patch for QA. As soon as the patch was done, I started building the patch for live with the assumption that it would be good. And if it wasn't good, I just built another patch after that. So we didn't waste time. We did it as quickly as we could. So in the end, I think I had this written down. I say it was like 30 some odd hours. Yeah, 35 hours of rollback time, which in the long term is a lot better than anybody who lost a dungeon that would have to rebuild it with years of work involved. So that was the pretty much the only route we could take to correct the thing with minimal impact. Granted, it affected the players. So let me see. Let me make sure I got it. Yeah. So players who played on Monday afternoon and into through Tuesday, anybody who played who earned experience got a minimum of 1,000,000 XP when we restored the game to service. So we built in a bonus type of situation there, because of course, yet again, the 2 XP thing started coming up, and that's not a viable situation. So what we want, and this is actually, if anything like this ever is to happen again, which obviously we all, trust me, all of us do not want that to ever have to happen again. We don't want to do a rollback. Actually, we still have a pretty good record of rollbacks as far between, like, let's say, other MMOs like WoW or whoever. After the number of years that we've been up and running, we've only had to roll back. I mean, it was a small series of rollbacks in September of that year related to the Release 105 debacle, but 2 events, as it were, right? This and that one back then. Other than that, we have 12 years of not having to do stuff like that. So we're as careful as we possibly can be. And again, talked about this every so often, that the game is way more stable than it has been or was back in 2019. So with all that said, if this was ever to happen again, this is the type of direction that we would go in. Though I do want to improve this, is where there's long term, it would be nice if we could figure out some stuff where we'd be able to restore some things so that we don't have to do a rollback. That's going to take some R&D and then some testing. Uh, then there's the aspect of standardizing on what we would do to credit people for their playtime and things along those lines. We would most likely never be able to restore artifacts that you collected during a rollback period or anything like that. But I could see where I might be able to enhance the default restoration process of like we could definitively give back XP and then we could add extra XP onto that. So we might have to sit down and figure out some algorithms for that to come up with some better numbers. But at this stage, this is what we've got, and um, it's uh, it's it's not as bad as not getting anything. The time frame that the outage occurred or the rollback occurred was not um, overly huge compared to the last one that we had. So just wanted to say that and wanted to acknowledge that. And so going forward, we shouldn't see this problem happen again, and we're obviously hoping that we won't have to do another rollback anytime in the near future at all. So if not at all. All right, so with that, the last item on this is just a reminder that spreading misinformation and or derogatory statements about the dev team or other players is against the TOS. There's been a ramp up of this lately, so just wanted to throw that out there as a reminder because although we try to stand back from these things and let the community police itself, sometimes we have to jump in, and what we'd like is you guys not to make us have to jump in. So with that said, I'll be sending out the newsletter. I haven't sent it out yet, and I'll have a little statement about the double XP, not double XP, the game rollback in there as well, and of course other articles about stuff that we're about to talk about. So there we go. All right. All right. So with that said, let me go down here. Well, I also usually say we have like a monthly update topics section here, and real quickly to say that the Crowns of the Obsidians are on sale for 20% off on the website, and the sale items in the Crown store are 30% off. This is through August 8th. So typically, the guy who does the patching forgets, and the sale tends to get taken off somewhere between the 8th and the 9th. But you know, we do our best. So the
Oh,
sales.
you mean like pushing the login rewards at midnight?
Yeah. Actually, I didn't get to thank you for that. Thanks. Yeah, I think I was actually falling asleep at the time when you did that. And actually, I'm just, sorry, folks, but this made me think of something, Allie, that we could actually automate that. We can't automate some of the stuff, but the login reward deployment, we should be able to set up a Team City scheduled task to do a back-end deployment
Oh,
automatically.
sure.
Yeah. So what we could do is we could test that on QA and make sure
Yeah.
that it's safe because but based on the way the back-end deployment, you guys as the players are concerned, what you'll see is what you have seen is that it'll come up and say this instance is closing in 60 minutes. So basically, when we cycle the server, and it actually does restart the server when we do a deployment, if the game is up and running, it doesn't kick the people out. There's actually like a command switch for that, and allows you to stay in the game. Which you may get like that disconnect icon that you'll see up in the top right corner of the game when the server actually does recycle, because it does technically go offline. It just doesn't drop all the open ports to all the players. And so this I've only seen that screw up once. actually. Over all the years that we've done it, I've only seen that happen once where it got messed up. So we're gonna look at possibly automating that, so that way the nobody has to be like up and at the console when login rewards have to go out, because this is in the past of Wizard I can't remember which name he was using, but when the login rewards were deployed in the past, the guy who was doing it would basically just do it at noon the next day, and I like trying to get things closer to when they're actually supposed to happen, so that's why we've been doing it at midnight. So, and technically, as per our process, we have until noon to get these things out, so it's kind of a window. That's why even taking the sales off, it's like, I mean, obviously that benefits the players if I don't take the sales off on time, but you know, we do our best to try to get things done exactly when they should be, and eventually I want to get a lot of this stuff automated. I've been talking about that for a long time. Oh, and that's another thing. This goes along the lines of some misinformation that was out there. Just to say that yes, we have been talking about um, trying to change it so we don't have to do monthly releases, meaning we don't have to take down the server for 2 hours at the end of every month, even just for quality of life fixes. So what we will end up doing in the long term is do a bigger patch once every quarter, which we already do. So there's no change there. All I'm trying to do is not have to take the server down and uh, cycle things out every what for us is like 2 weeks. So basically, what I have to do is I have to tell the entire team that we only have 14 days to do development this month. We only have 12 days to do development this month. So that this goes hand in hand with changing our deployment day to the last Monday of the month as opposed to the last Thursday of the month. Once in a while, we short ourselves a couple of days because when the last Thursday of the month is like the 30th or whatever. But like this month, it was the 28th as opposed to doing it on the 30th, on the 31st, I think would have been the last day of the month, whatever the Thursday was. And but for the most part, we get a bigger window, and so we're trying to optimize the amount of time that we have for development. If I could get to a point where we don't have to lock everything down because we're doing a big patch build at the end of every month, then we would be able to have uh, literally 10 extra days right in the middle. And of course, then it would be sequential through 2.5 months. So basically, we're looking at 80 days of development time, uninterrupted development time. And for most people, do well pretty much anything. You get into a groove, and if you have to stop your groove every 12 days, it causes a problem. Get distracted,
Yeah.
gotta go do other things. So
And that would actually be 80 days because all of us are bad at taking weekends.
that is true. Yeah. Anyway, that's a little off the path here, but so yeah, so I'll be through the August 8th for the sales, and then we have this is I'm just gonna say this is lava month, right? And this is of course for all those of us in the northern hemisphere, it's summer and it's hotter than hell. So we're doing a whole bunch of lava-based or lava-themed things. We started that actually technically last month, and we're going to be getting in some extra stuff there. So I'll go into that in a little while. But in the meantime, we also have beach-themed stuff. So the subscriber rewards this month have these. Somebody say the word. I'm not saying it. Well, no, is it Longfall? Yeah, Longfall loungers. It's our version of the cat skills chair. I tricked you. So I can't say
What Steve is avoiding is saying Adirondack.
yeah, that.
Oh, we can say that.
Well, yeah, no, I can't say it.
Oh,
I have problems saying it. Yeah. So when I grew up, because I grew up there. I grew up in Bergen County, and that's just below where the Catskills is and where the Adirondacks. See, I just can't do it. Are up there. So anyway, this chair is I guess Jesus like 40s, 50s, 60s type of thing. It was the chair to have, and all the beach houses have them, and stuff like that. So that's one of the subscriber awards this month. And we also have new beach blankets that we put in, including a lovely one with flamingos on it, and then some variations of the large awning. That's basically it gets attached to the side of your house or whatever type of thing. And you could use that in a marketplace stall too, I believe, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Or you can put two of them back to back and have like a full outdoor structure.
Yeah, there you go. And so we have a normal one, which is that reddish shingle roof. Then there's one that has um, moss on it, and then there's a snow-covered one. So they're actually pretty cool, and there's still work that's going to be done on those too. As a part of our process that Scottie was talking about, we're sweeping through everything, which is going to take a long, 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 long time.
Yeah, I think the sweep is already done for the short ones. It's the pre-existing long ones that are going to get a little bit of an extra boost.
Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah, they need to be touched. I mean, they were made rapidly long ago, and I have an eye for things that I don't like to see when it comes to structural issues and things like that. And I just want to make them work right and look right. So that's my big goal.
There you go. Okay, I will put aside other stuff to talk about that I have to talk about. So, Allie, do you want to take the Bug Brigade announcement thing?
Okay. We have a bug brigade. You can sign up. There's information in the forums to do so. There's a nice new recruiting center in our Doris where you can go and see all the different awards that you can get for submitting bugs or helping with testing. And our 5-year anniversary is August 27th. So on August 16th, we'll be holding an anniversary party in Brecon Bay where we have a bug brigade houseboat set up. And people who've been there in the past know that we have generally some sort of scavenger hunt or other sort of contest like that, and a fishing contest. And by the way, fishing contests run by Des is the only way to get the Master Angler title. And then we have someone DJing, playing music. That would generally be Justin. And at the end of the night, we kill you all. We summon great hordes of terrible monsters to clear the island for us.
We don't just issue the /kill all command?
You know, we could do that this year instead.
Yep.
So there's an announcement in the release notes and a map of where to go. And I will stick in the chat here information on how to sign up for the Bug Brigade if you wish to. Although you don't have to sign up to go to the party.
Come one, come all. So let's see. With that said, let's hand the mic over to Scottie and talk about some housing stuff.
Oh, sure. So of the things that you all have seen me doing in the past, I mean, some of you all have even sat in the probably the painfully long stream that we did that one night where I really started to dig into it and find, to my horror, all the things that needed to be touched and dealt with and things like that. Of which there were many. I mean, these were sort of the basic building block houses in the beginning when it came to row houses, and so they were a good place to start for me to kind of get my feet wet and make sure that I knew what I was doing with a lot of these things, because there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of elements that go into the getting houses right. And I made the early mistake of thinking, oh, I'll just they were wanting a new mansion, a huge manor house created, a variation of one that already existed. And I thought, well, I hadn't really been into housing in a while. Maybe I can go in there and jump in and do that real quick. Yes, that was a huge mistake. I nearly went mad trying to figure out what was going on with that thing. It wasn't even an asset that we built. It was an asset we got from somewhere else. So me trying to make it into something that we could use had already been done by a different artist, Damon. And Damon had gone through and done what he could, but that was toward a period where there was sort of unrest at the time. He went off to do his thing. I came in to try to undo and redo things, only to discover that I really didn't get it, and there was a lot to it. What I can do is kind of show you all something real quickly, and then that will lead into what I can jump into real quick in the thing. And is it possible in the editor, I should say, is it possible for me to show my screen like I do in other circumstances? Let me see if I can do that real quickly, and then you all can tell me if you all see what I'm doing.
The screen got really fuzzy for a few seconds there, though.
Oh, did it? Weird.
So it's recovered, so it might be just a... Oh, that poor beach ball. Someone flicked that poor beach ball on the stairs.
So you all might be able to see my desktop now, potentially.
Yep.
If so, oh, good. Well, if so, you all see me opening up 3D Studio Max. And that really was the first step to trying to dig into any of these and figure out what was going on. And there were so many. For those of you all who didn't observe that crazy late night stream that I did that one time, this might be an eye opener to some extent. But there's a lot of, with every house that exists, there's a lot of moving parts, and the stuff that you can see is barely the tip of the iceberg. So I'm going to do something really simple here. I'm just going to open up the a 2-story quarter village house and actually show you all what it's made out of. And this is like one of the simplest houses you can have, to be very honest. And already you see that there's some stuff here that you're like, okay, there's big green, blocky things there. And that's because what you're looking at here is you're looking at a load of items. In this case, all the stuff that you can see right now is, let me see. It's a total of 19 items that have to get exported at the same time that allow for the whole house to work. At the base level of the house, the stuff that you all get to see is a mixture between the interior and exterior LOD 000. LOD means level of detail. And so if I hide everything that I haven't selected there, then you can see both the basic close-up LOD, level of detail exterior, and then the interior as well. And if I hide the exterior just for a moment, then you can see what the interior looks like, and you can kind of see that it's fairly simplistic as far as like the way it's been built. But things have to be very carefully looked at to make sure that you're not creating multiple what are called draw calls. And draw calls are where it has to basically draw, because any polygon that has a texture on it has to get drawn in our scenes. And when you draw anything, even if it's something that's hidden behind another thing, the computer has to think about it pixel by pixel. It has to get drawn and it has to get lit because it thinks it might be able to be seen, even if it ends up getting covered over. So I had to go back in here and kind of recreate a lot of these buildings so that you're kind of seeing through this stuff, looking at things like this poly right here, which you can kind of see me having picked this poly here. And then these polys here, at one point in time, these polys here actually went way down below the wall. So they were getting drawn twice in huge spans of areas all over the game. Every time these houses were drawn, and if you're walking down the street with like half a dozen or more of these houses, then those are draw calls happening again and again and again that are completely unnecessary because they're already behind something else that will never allow you to see them. In some cases, we can't help it, but it kind of has to happen because of the way that the architecture works. But in most cases, if we can, we try to go in and pull those things up so that you don't get a double draw call. Basically poly layer on top of polygon layer on top of polygon layer. And so that was one of the first things I went in and tried to do. I also went in and tried to do things like make sure that we weren't seeing gaps through stairways and weird things that let you see like through the house and into the sky far beyond. And we also had to make sure that some simple things like the windows joined up to the window sills that were part of the outside, and didn't look awkward, or you weren't seeing gaps through those. So there's a lot of little things that had to be fixed and touched, and a lot of those things ended up getting proliferated into the next set of houses too, which is good. It saved me a little bit of time and effort, but not a lot, because unfortunately there's, again, so many parts to this thing that you gotta scrutinize it with like a very, very sharp eye and a fine-tooth comb to really figure out what's going on. And an example of that is if I turn off the visual texture maps here, then you can see a lot of lines that are behind the scenes too, and those are the edges of stuff that have to get touched and dealt with, so that they're not they're basically all functionally drawing where they need to draw, because you get one thing on top of another and in the wrong place, and suddenly you're looking through the wall, or you're looking through and seeing something that you shouldn't see. This is an example of that. These all had been pulled out earlier and were far enough out to where in the game I could look down and look right through them and see the grass down below. Right now I'm just seeing the wall behind it, but depending on the circumstances, you're seeing through the entire building, which was the case in a few cases where I was looking through the side of the stairwell right along this edge, and I was literally looking outside at the grass and trees. And that's what you get when you're working with sort of like theatrical shells as opposed to real architecture. So this thing is made of a bunch of stuff. So starting with the interior, you can actually see, and I can unhide by name, you can see the interior collision. And the interior collision is this whole green area that allows us to know through code where you can step and where you shouldn't be able to step, and where wall blockades are and things of that kind. This is just to help for players and pets, essentially, as you're moving through the world, so you're colliding with things properly. You notice the stairs literally have one sheet going all the way up, so that you're not like bobbing your head up and down, going up in each and every chunky stair foot. It's a nice smooth transition from top to bottom. And this has nothing to do even with placement of objects. That's where you start getting into deco. And so you have like the deco ceiling, deco walls. Here, I'll unhide by name again, and you can start to see all of these things appearing. So there's deco walls, deco wall exterior, deco floor, ceiling, all this kind of stuff, even areas that are deco prevent, places you don't want to let folks put decorations, like on the front of each stair step and things of that kind. And if I were to unhide these, now you start seeing them appear everywhere. Everything from the stuff on the ceiling to the things on the floor to the little areas where we don't want you to be able to deco, which is, we don't want you to place things inside of walls by accident and things of that kind. We don't want you to place things on the front of stairways. All that stuff appears. And then last but not least, you end up getting all the stuff that lets you deco on the outside. You get the things that keep rain from falling through the roof, all that stuff. So you can see that from a very simple has, lots of things have to be taken into account, and lots of things have to be tested. They have to work properly. Each door has to be put into place inside the editor, each shutter, and then the shutter braces that are meant to look like they brace the shutters once they're open and closed. All that stuff has to be taken care of.
I remember one time a few years ago, there was, I think it was actually an NPC house, but there was a door and you opened it and there was another door sitting right there, closed.
Yes. Yeah, like magic, because that's the way it works, because it's all fakery. and we just hope we can fool you and fool the eye as we go through the process of making this stuff.
Now, even with everything that you've said, there's even more stuff involved and more people who have to touch it. So,
Yes.
for instance, I know once you have done the mesh work you were doing on that, then you'd send it over to me, and I went in there and rebuilt the LODs and all that stuff. And that's the standard we're doing now with all this stuff because the LOD system, which I'll go about again, of course. It's a little repetitive for some folks, I'm sure, but it's worth mentioning again and again. So I'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
But
I'll actually I'll as a lead-in into it, I'll actually show them some of that stuff right now.
Sure.
Uh,
And
in
one of the things that I was just working on, and I believe that I've fixed something that's been broken forever, is Scottie knows me. He sent me over the 4-story, the one that's right under his cursor there,
Mhm.
to look at a couple of oddities that are left over. I mean, let's say it this way: when we first talked about this, we were going to do this in phases, and it was quickly discovered that the phase approach was not really going to work because of all the extra polys and draw calls that were going on inside of the walls. So they
Right.
just screamed help. So we had to fix it all. And we're hoping that what we're doing here with these row houses. So the first 3 row houses are the template for the second 3, which are these, and so they're very similar as far as their footprint and things like that. So, and there's a lot of stuff that we learned about what was being done. Bob the Builder was involved in these things. So, and of course, everybody knows that Portalarium was trying to get tons of stuff out every month. So there wasn't a lot of time to do the attention to detail the way that Scottie and myself are very much OCD over.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
in the
And
bottom
not
line,
just you two OCD over either. Scotty, did Ravalox tell you that we completed the first phase of the deco testing of the 2-story?
yeah,
Oh, nice.
that's where I
Yeah.
was going with it. I was going to say that
Yeah.
one of the things that I just fixed was, or I think I fixed, is the fireplaces in these houses. I think anybody who's played knows that the fireplaces glow outside of the house, and it's the terrain that sucks up the light, and yeah, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I fixed it. I had to change the way the lighting works, but it stays inside the house now, and it's
Oh, nice.
actually more realistic, where the sides behind the mantle there. Like, go back in the house. Go back in the house.
Oh, yeah. Here.
Yeah, so you see, on the sides of the fireplace, you wouldn't expect, that to be lit very well, right? In those 2 alcoves there. So with the new lighting method that I'm using, it looks more legitimately like that room should look.
Yeah.
And
The corners
there's,
and shadows, proper
yeah,
shadows.
and flickering and all sorts of good stuff. So, which actually was meant to be there, and for God knows what reason it's not doing it. So anyway, that's where I am with that. And then from there, it would get sent over to Lainey. So let's go ahead, Lainey, and if there's anything else you wanted to add to the.
No, you guys have been doing great work. Very few things have been found. We want to do a second pass at it. But right now, they're looking really good.
Oh, good. I'm glad. And I tried to add, since there was only so much I could do as part of the fixes to these already existing ones without messing up anything that players already had access to or be able to do. The most I could do is fix problems, fix visual issues, and then add, in some cases, deco surfaces to things that look like they should have had them all along.
All of those worked. The windowsills worked.
Excellent.
The edges of the stairwells where we couldn't place deco before worked. The
Nice.
railings all the way around the house where there's space that you feel like you should be able to put something, but you haven't been able to in the past. Those all worked. So yeah, it's looking really great.
Oh, that's good. I'm very, very glad to hear that, because
Let,
I was kind of shaky in the beginning, kind of
No,
creating
that's
these
great.
things.
Yeah, let me interject a couple of things here. One is that, guys, I actually posted it in the chat before, but if you haven't put in the phrase, please do it now, because I am about to run the prizing, which we are, as tradition demands, late. in getting the prizing run. So we'll do that. The other thing I wanted to mention as well is that while Scottie's doing all this,
wait. Tell them what the phrase is.
oh, I don't know.
Gust of awe. What do you mean you don't know?
Yeah, gust of awe, right?
For August.
Yeah,
Yes.
AWE, gust of awe.
Yeah, gust of awe.
Right.
Aw.
Upper, lowercase doesn't matter. The script will take it either way. And as a reminder, you can buy something on the website, extra bank slots, extra character slot, or Kodos, and that also will count towards the drawing. And of course, leading up to the drawing, you could do this. You could at 12:01, although I wouldn't go literally like that. At 12:01 a.m. Central Time, or NBT time, as we like to call it, you could purchase Kodos or say the phrase in game, and you will be entered into the drawing. So it's that type of thing, and you have plenty of time to get the drawings in there. Don't have to be present to win, and the prizes will be mailed out by Elaney.
Excellent.
So
Now, of the things I wanted to mention, by the way, and you can kind of see an example of it here, because there are certain things that I did, and then there were certain things that, as Ravalox mentioned, he did too. And of that was something very important to make them function properly, which I had to kind of, in order to make the fixes I made and to make things consistent, because we were noticing stuff was across the board inconsistent, like inconsistent number of level of details, LODs, an inconsistent number or not number, but inconsistent use of things like the shutters and the doors and all that kind of stuff. And so once I got everything consistently done, he then went through and did a process of organization, which made sure that all the LODs functioned properly. And you can see I'm getting pretty far away from here. But one of the things that you notice as I go farther away is that the windows, if you look carefully, will turn black. And you can see the ones in the middle are doing it right there. They turn black because basically now you're not having to see all the stuff that's in the house, and you're not having to pay for basically the frame rate of having to see them rendered. So once everything turns black like that, you're also seeing much lower levels of detail that also, through really careful placement of boards and everything else, are meant to really carefully still look like what they look like up close. So, but right now we're far away enough from these houses, and ignore the ones on the left. The ones on the left have not been set up properly yet by Stephen, because those are in his they're in his arena now. I've only finished the part that needs to be done to make them function properly once he puts them in the right organizational kind of format. But yeah, these houses that I'm looking at this great distance are probably 25% of the polys that they're originally made out of being up close to them, and they're truly nothing but hollow shells at this point, with the boards outside in place enough to where it still looks like they look like there, and eventually they will disappear once I am from 0 to 100%. Then they vanish at 10% of the 100% distance that I could achieve on this map, right? So I could literally fall off the world, because this is a tiny little map that I like to build stuff on.
well, that plus the other thing that we've actually
There's the first one right there.
Yeah, and there's another thing that we've discovered. So this is actually kind of important, because we've talked about LODs as we've gone along here, and we are leveraging the LOD system to its utmost. We are optimizing beyond optimization. First thing I want to say is that, like as Scottie was just talking about, when the windows turn black, and they're black right now, as he gets closer, you'll turn to the point where you could see inside the houses again. That's approximately 3 row houses away from a given row house.
That's
now,
right.
Before we made this fix, where he was all the way back there, where the houses were just disappearing, the internal stuff, the decorations, everything that was inside that house was still drawing. So you're
not the decorations, because that would have been fixed by the lot's internal culling.
Well,
But
well,
you would
that's
see interior walls and
right.
such.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, we're talking. It's more polys than you're seeing on the outside. For the house. So, bottom line, and actually, there's I won't say which house it is, but we've discovered there's no LODs on it at all. And it's actually quite a large house. Um, so it's kind of like imagine, if you will, the game playing, and all of a sudden there's a big black swirl in front of you, and all the decorations start sucking down into it. That's what that house does. But
Oh,
anyway,
I was taking some store pictures for the new short awnings in Xenos before release, and Xenos has those stucco row houses as default.
mm.
When I zoomed out, they didn't have roofs.
Oh wait, are you talking about these here or the?
No, the stucco ones.
that's the
The
next ones
the
up, I think.
left and right ones.
Oh, I see. I see.
Yeah, I think those are the next ones we have to touch. But
Oh, okay.
so
Yeah, I haven't yet.
so the thing that we have, the last thing we discovered is that as Scottie's on an Uber rig. All right, his rig is pretty new. I think it's like a year old or so.
Yeah.
Even my rig, which is my current rig that I'm using, is actually an 8th generation CPU, but it's an i9, so it's a little bit beefier than the average machine. Um, and to be honest with you, I think everybody on the team now is we've everybody's got pretty nice rigs that for what we do. Um, when we go in there and we start doing LOD stuff, and generally what you would do is you'd walk away from the thing and say, okay, this is a good distance for this LOD to change. And the problem is that we're running on very high-end machines, so there's a bias that's in there, and the current bias on our machines is 2.38, which means that things are still drawing on our screens 2.38 times longer than it would on somebody who's using like the fastest well, not the fastest settings, actually the average settings. So if you set your quality settings in the game to fastest, which again, I'm not happy with those verbiages. Fastest, I think it's fastest, fast, good, uh, something beautiful, and best or custom or whatever at the end. But basically, the fastest one is about it's 0.78, so it's almost 3/4 of the standard for the LODs, and that's what you would have to set it for machines that were pretty much current in 2014, standard machines. And then as you go up that, we get into the higher stuff. You get into the thing where basically the game is using an algorithm to calculate that you're at full capability of doing the LOD distance that we told it to do. And then if your machine is even better, it actually adds on to that. So, and of course, it takes into other account things like if you have shadows and um, uh, you know, your point of field of view distances, things along those lines, and that affects all that. But if you have an over-the-top machine, then things still will not drop off, and they'll still be drawing out in the back distance. So this is like I think this is like the last thing that we've discovered with the LOD system that will affect optimization in the game and the performance. So once
Yeah.
once we start applying these fixes to, and again, sorry to be repetitious, I said this before, that these row houses and then the default row houses in Arteris, the ones with the blue roofs, maybe we should do the blue roofs next, actually.
Oh, these guys here.
Yeah, because those are the default ones. Uh, just by doing these fixes in that, those towns should see a significant increase in the players' frames per second, and make those towns even more livable than or more towards livable, I should say, I guess. And then once we go and standardize, and this is one of the things that we're going to have to do as a team I have plans to get us all into a test scene and then test a house and put things down at distances to determine where we should be. I have the intern that we have right now. He's uh, he's got a laptop that I gave him to use that is not as good as like our rigs. And then I also have the laptop that I used when I first started playing Shroud of the Avatar, which is a Toshiba from 2010, 2009, something like that. So I had to play on the fastest back then. So we'll be able to go in there and accurately determine what the LOD distances should be for these houses based on the lower gear instead of doing it based on the higher gear. This way,
Right.
the lower gear will cut off when it should, and then people with better rigs will have that option of pumping up their rig and saying I want beautiful or best or whatever the highest one is actually called. Plus, I want to change the names of those damn things. But but the point being then is that way it's optional and it's not because right now we've heard this for years. You know, why is it that Shroud drives my it runs hotter, it takes up more RAM, and these are the reasons. This is what's been
Yeah,
going on all these years, guys.
and
Uh,
that and we just realized it. I mean, we just realized they'd been setting their LODs wrong all of this time.
yeah, if they
All this
even put them in place. So and
Yeah,
again,
if we even put them in place, that's right.
yeah. And again, I mean, those of us who lived through that, the first phase of development with the Portalarium folks, they were under crunch. They were promising too much, trying to deliver everything they promised, and that made things a little, and I hesitate to use the word, but sloppy. And so they'd always plan to go back. I mean, and I know this. I mean, I know these guys. They weren't lazy. They weren't just doing whatever they did or not know what they were doing. They really fully thought that they would be going back and doing passes to fix stuff. But
Optimization, basically.
yeah,
Yeah,
and there would always be new stuff in the way. So
Well, the bottom line here is optimization as we go,
yeah,
right? From this
yeah,
exactly.
point forward.
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
That's right.
so anything we do now, we're doing with standards, and we're actually writing this stuff down and having design documents. That was one of my biggest complaints over the years, is that there really aren't design documents for this game. So we're going backwards as much as we could, but when we do go backwards, it's to help ourselves go forwards. And
Right. I mean, and even now, I'm doing things like making quick videos at Stephen's behest to make sure that if I figure out a way to deal with something properly, or we figure out a way to deal with something properly, then I can kind of make a quick video of it, and anyone can go back and look at that video and go, oh, that's how we need to do that to make sure that's done properly.
right.
Yeah.
And that can include something as simple as what you're seeing right here, like this simple house that you saw earlier. If you look up here at this order it's been put to, that's what Ravalox did. And so you can look at the collision groups individually. You can look at the deco surfaces individually. You can look at all the special effects individually, the door shutters, things that move, things that have been hand placed, particle systems. And then you can look at the LOD groups and the layout of those, so that you can actually see which LODs go with what LOD layer, and you can set the LODs properly and all that kind of stuff. And because that's super important. What you see here is everything that he just talked about. And even though right now I have it at a basis of like 175%, 50%, 25%, 10%, that may change later depending on what we feel works best and works right for the kind of medium end systems that we're sort of that are meant to be the benchmark, I guess, or the typical one that we want to cater to.
Right.
But you look at this, and then you look at what he I don't know if you have had a chance to touch it, Stephen. This one right here has not been properly done, and
Oh
that's
no.
so
Yeah.
Steve has this on his thing because Stephen went in and looked at it and went, oh my God, no, this just won't do. It's just everything is all weirdly mixed up and messed up, and it's hard to tell where you're trying to put stuff in. And so
That one's even halfway done though.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, Yeah.
But one of the things to point out here is that you can see there's some stuff that's grayed out. I mean, I assume that's
Yeah.
coming across on Twitch. Those are things that during development, the designer, let's say it was Bob or whoever, was like threw something in and decided, oh yeah, no, I'm not going to use that. Instead of deleting it, it got left behind.
Yes.
Now the funny thing is, in certain cases, I'll use the example of the breakaway walls for dungeons. There are things that are turned off when you first go in on purpose. Same thing with lighting. That's by default, it's turned off and it'll look great out in the prefab like this. So when you go and see something grayed out, I can't say, oh, well, that just is, it was disused. It's not really active. I can't say that for 100% sure unless I go through the entire all the scripts of that thing and make sure that there's nothing activating that based on something you click on. Yes, we can even use that for secret doors and things along those lines. So, the point is that unless we do clean that up, those are still loading into memory.
Right.
So
That's
it's
right.
like there's a lot of bloat in this thing. So um, the goal here is to go through everything and clean it all up and get to that point where the housing is optimized, and of course that applies to all the assets, all the decorations, and even adventure scenes have issues with this, where things are not being what you call culled. When they disappear off the screen, they're being culled, and they're if when a player character is on the opposite side of a POT and there's VFX still running on the other side, you know, your GPU is still drawing that, it's still taking up memory, so it's
Yeah,
going to slow you down.
it is.
Um,
Yeah.
I
We've
mean,
figured out some other problems in just looking around at these. For instance, for years now, the lock shutters function has been broken. You can close a shutter and lock it, and it'll be open the next time you start the scene. And that's because at some point they decided to go through and make all the shutters open by default, and the lock script doesn't account for that.
mm, mm.
So we haven't quite figured out what we're going to do about that, but at least we finally know why it was happening.
yeah,
And there were so many mysteries like that. Like we're like, why isn't this working now? Why doesn't that work now? Why is
yep,
this function failing?
yeah,
So, it's a slow process, but we're getting there. And by me perfecting at least to the degree that I can these things, then I have the basis by which to start and make new things that I know I'm not messing up by like repeating old mistakes. So that's part of the goal with this whole thing too. Before I go any further, because I really don't, I'm not sure how much more I can talk about this stuff. We should probably do the pricing thing.
yes. And
We're almost due for another one.
yeah, we are
Um,
almost due for another one. So
I'll stop sharing now. By the way.
well, actually, keep it up there for a second.
Okay.
Bring up one of the deco meshes. You know, like a
Uh,
highlight one, so you could see between the like the interior and then the interior
Yeah, I
wall.
don't know if it'll show. At least on my screen, his sharing is a bit blurry.
Oh, okay, all right.
So yeah, it's hard. It's gonna be hard to see, but you
Right,
can see
but you
the
can see the green lines are there. So
yeah,
this is one of the things that this is the ultimate of optimization. That's a good one right there. That's the walls, right?
yeah. Those are the
So
walls.
um, we have two meshes in here. This is the decoration mesh for the walls, which it's big spider web of lines and stuff. But if you go click on the actual mesh now for the interior,
For the deco wall itself.
no, for the regular
Oh, for the actual.
yeah, the actual collision.
Oh, the collision or the
Yeah, the
or
top one there. Yep, that one there.
okay. There
Yep,
we go.
yeah, there you go. So
Okay,
there,
that's the
see,
visual. Those are the
now
visual.
that's the actual collision for the walls. Okay, well, it's actually the actual collision for everything, including the roof and the floor, the ceiling, the floor, the walls, everything on the interior of the house. This was all made as one mesh. One of the things that Scottie and I have talked about, and I think that when we make our first new row house, which is coming up soon, what I'm asking him to try to do, and I'm hoping it works, is the interior mesh will be split into 3 components where we have the floors, the ceilings, and the walls. That will eliminate the need for separate meshes for deco collision. There's
Oh
no
yeah.
reason for us to have double meshes. So this is another double draw call. All those, and you saw there's how much wiring there is. You know, we call those the wires, right? So how much wiring there is on for the deco collision in addition to the walls. So this will actually even be more. Now, not only will that make things work faster and better and have less overhead, but your decorations will stick to the wall. There will not ever be a situation where it's like it's floating deco or things aren't getting quite close enough to the wall or whatever. Things will go to stick right to the collision, the player collision of the wall. This is what prevents you from walking through the wall. That's what your item will stick to.
Yeah, because there's really 3 things here you're seeing. You're seeing the interior right here. That's what you can see, right? That interior is a mesh and it has all its, connecting segments and everything. Then you have the interior collision. That's what makes your character slide across the wall and do whatever. But that's not what you decorate on. You have a deco surface wall also, and that almost mirrors essentially the interior LOD 000 interior, and that interior shape, that's what he's talking about breaking up and just utilizing that instead of having a whole separate mesh, which is interior collision, exterior collision. So there's exterior collision, interior collision. Interior collision is basically the same thing except simpler.
Right.
But the deco shapes, the fact is the deco shapes will make your character collide just as much as the interior shapes.
Right. Exactly.
So they're treated just like collision too. So basically you're dealing with double the collision for no reason.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, that has to be figured out as well.
Right. So again, we got to do pricing, but we'll go into this at another point as we start because this is an experiment level. But I've already done it on certain things in the game, and I know it works because it's basically even that decoration collision. Um, this it's probably worth it to make it clear that the decoration collision, as it's called in the prefab, doesn't have any special properties. It's not like he's going into 3ds Max and making a collision that has a flag on it or something that says this is for decorations, which is actually what I thought for years until I found out that all it is there's a script attached to it in the prefab. So
That's right.
why attach the script to a dedicated mesh when we could put it on the mesh that's already there that has all the same properties? In fact, the meshes that are for decorations have to have special properties assigned to them, called extra something. I can't remember what it is, but to tell it to ignore when somebody puts a deco on it, the collision mesh has to be told to ignore you trying to put it down just in case the deco collision is behind the collision that you bump into.
That's right.
And so this saves a lot of stuff. The game doesn't have to monitor for that anymore. And anyway, this is all technical stuff, but this is the stuff that's going to keep the game going for a long time and allow us to expand the game and leverage newer things. So let's do the pricing, and then we'll be getting ready to do another one. So.
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing.
Okie dokie. All right, let me get the camera back to where it's supposed to be. This. Boom, boom. Okay, there we go. All right, and that. That was slow around a little bit while we were doing that. So I didn't actually. I failed to mention that these are the prizes, except for the house. Our first prize is a scalped beach umbrella, and that would be this right here. This is ideal for using literally on the beach or it could be used as a picnic table umbrella. So this will also place. Let's see if I could. Yes, I can. So it'll place on top of things like a picnic table, or in this case, the this ice chest, which of course would also benefit from having some shade. um, and then we also have a floppy hat, and of course this ice chest, a flaming tiki demon mask of the Blackwood variety. And then, of course, the one thing that you won't see here is a water wheel, water lot village home. So those are our prizes for today's stream. So who wants to do what? Any volunteers?
Oh, I'll gladly do one or the other. Let me get to the little thing real quickly. Would you like me to say a character or a prize?
Let me see if the characters are hard. So yeah, actually, yeah. If you want to do a character, I'll do the prizes this time, and then we can reverse next time if you want, or whoever.
Okay.
All right.
Good
So we have a scalloped beach umbrella, and that will go to.
Sage Rain, as well as Bastet.
Right. And a floppy beach hat.
That goes to Olivia Rohan, as well as Aidsias Nomis.
Then we have that large ice box.
That goes to Dabsalot, as well as Storm Illinor.
I would have mangled that one for sure. Black flaming tiki demon mask.
That will go to Temujin, as well as Dr. Hirnbrand.
Good deal. And finally, the grand prize for this round, a Watermill Village home.
That will go to both Stymie Savage Fury, as well as Aristodemus.
Very good. Excellent. Congratulations to all the players who have won prizes this round. We shall be doing another round of prizes probably in about 15 minutes or so. And
Yes.
yeah, we'll go from there. So, all right. Let's see here again.
Oh, God. I went back to the stream only to see some kind of hideous commercial playing. Oh, Alien Earth. That's what's happening. Yay.
Okay, so let me get back to here, and all right, now we're back on track. All right, I'm going to throw this back down on the ground. Apparently, Fickle Hunter got stuck on it, and so, oh, and I guess it's probably worth mentioning that you guys may notice that there's a little bit of a difference here. We are now able to place some items down on Castle Atos. Again, long-term players know that Castle Atos is a player-owned town. It's meant to be governed by Atos, but the implementation of the new pot template didn't quite go correctly, so it doesn't show the governor. But I went in there over this last sprint and bypassed a few things and placed down a castle lot in here. So basically, the whole courtyard is a castle lot for the most part, and we could place things down on the ground.
Specify who you mean when you say we.
We being able to place things, you mean?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So the devs. So that would be myself, Laney, actually Scottie, Allium, and Sanyo, and Lord British, and
Well, anyone has a dev account can add themselves to the lot. It doesn't need to wait for you to give them permission. So
yeah, but it's
all of the devs.
It's all set up for that. So
I didn't have to add myself to anything when I threw the guest ball field out last night.
yeah, because I did it for you already. When I claimed the lot, I thought ahead and just added people. And that's what I was getting at. But and so of course we have the stone hidden and back where our switches are. And eventually, I have to do some extra stuff to these stairs. We'll be able to place deco on the stairs too. Right now we can't, but I have to add. Uh, I've just like what we were talking about. I have to add the deco script to the collision for those stairs. So that's going to be one of those examples of places. And the stairs, of course, are kind of the castle itself is kind of built with that old way, so I need to go through this whole thing and clean it all up and restructure it so it'll be optimized as well when I fix that. So yeah, we had a over here on the lawn, we had a gust ball field out last night. And I guess we left a gust ball out here, or
Well, we can't leave them out here because in order for them to act as gust balls, the person who summoned them has to remain in scene.
Gotcha. Okay, so when you were here earlier, there was somebody playing with a gust ball out here before? So.
That was probably their gust ball.
Oh.
Wasn't a beach ball out here too earlier?
Well,
yeah.
Yes, that's what we mean.
Yeah.
Oh.
Technically, it's a gust ball.
Right.
So.
But it vanished into the mist of time and space or something.
Well, yeah. Well, it's there. It is. Yeah, somebody has put it out. Dido, right? Dido.
Where are you seeing it? The camera's flying all over the place, so I don't know what you're looking at.
Oh, well, you're like 30 seconds behind if you're looking at the stream.
Oh, okay.
So just give it a second. You should probably about now. You'll see where it is. So, okay. Well, let's go. Go back to the list of things. Okay, so I'll put this one in. This is small, so I'm going to talk about this for a second. Infrastructure update. As you guys know, I've been making a lot of trips to Austin. Usually I go down to Austin once a month for about a week, and I work with Scottie, which of course is a great way through osmosis. I pick up stuff on how to do stuff that he does, and then I backfill stuff that I'm doing. So we we get our skill sets cross meshed a little bit better, which obviously will help with things with doing things like the housing project and stuff. So eventually I should be able to help correct more things, or even, dare I say, maybe even participate in building things down the road. It's taken years for me to get to this point, to be honest with you. Granted, because I have so much on my plate, it's slower than normal, but I've just recently, it's kind of like went through some kind of a watershed moment, and I'm now able to do a lot more mesh work than I have up until now. Feeling more confident about it. So anyway, with that said, well, actually, I use as an example the pirate galleon, the town lot pirate galleon player house. That's had issues forever, and I fixed, not related to mesh work, but I fixed the not being able to get into a cot or a bed, and things along those lines. The nav mesh was messed up on the ship, and that's bottom line is that somebody had somebody ran the nav mesh on it as if it was a dry dock boat instead of being a water lot boat. So I just had to go in there and fix that and get that done once I figured out what was going on. But also the door that leads to the ship, when you there's like a dock that comes with it, so you go on the dock and you get to the ladder. On the hull of the ship there's a door that swings open, and that door was twisted and at the wrong angle and all messed up. I actually went into the mesh and rebuilt that. So it's one of my first forays into that, doing something a little bit more complex to remap textures and change the geometry of stuff like that. So as we go forward, hopefully that knowledge for me will continue to increase, and then I'll be able to help Scotty do more complex work down the road. And of course, I'll pass that knowledge on as well to anybody who on the team who wants to learn about this stuff, because some of the tasks are easier than others. Some of them get really complicated, but nonetheless, that's what we're going over there, and there will never be too little work. So yeah,
Oh yeah, no.
we don't have to worry about that.
And you started playing with the door to like make that door on those ships look really good too. Did you have a chance to finish that up?
Oh yeah, that's the only thing that's left to do on that is I have to do some math calculations as to where I need to move the hinges. Let me think, where did I put that boat? I guess it's in decoration station. Let me go there. I will go there. Decoration.
Because you were still trying to figure out why. Because even I looked at it and I couldn't figure out why the mapping was different on it on that
Oh,
door.
yeah, that's right. No, I haven't finished that yet. I suspect that might be something that, the mesh might just be screwed up on it, and I may need to actually kind of delete something and redo it. But that was pre-existing. Um,
Mm.
so, here's the water wheel house that folks had won today.
Oh, that's nice.
And shall
That's very
win
nice.
again. Yeah, I like that one. It's nice. And apparently, no, the boat is probably in my in my editor. Um,
Yeah, that got made after I first got those water wheels working for Xenos long ago. Long ago.
that one. Okay.
I think they already existed in Ardoris by
What's
that
that?
point.
Oh, that's right. We did have. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I met Ardoris. I forgot that I later used them for Xenos after I got the aqueducts built for them.
Yeah, they both got the aqueducts.
That's right.
Let's see a second. I gotta
Yeah, I always forget that Ardoris came first.
I think Ardoris was the first thing that wasn't on Hidden Veil.
That very well may have been, because those were the ancient days, the old days.
why is this not working?
What are you trying to do?
Trying to bring Unity up. It's just sitting there acting stupid. So usual thing. This actually probably better. I'm gonna just do this in Unity.
Since it is 5:43, while you're bringing it up, we should probably get the next pricing queued up.
Yeah, so if you guys haven't put your phrase in, please do it now. We'll give you a couple of minutes to do that. And then share. Share this. Oh, yeah. All right. So Unity was already turned on. I just need to move it above the camera. There. Okay. Good. Cool. All right. Now play this. Pretty sure this is where it is. So currently, I got the row houses in here because I was messing with them.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I don't know if did I. Oh, well, I guess I kind of vaguely said it. It's still like I think I got the settings right, but like last night I was doing this at 4 in the morning, so I ended up going to sleep because want to be awake for this. um, so I did one test where it worked, and then the next time I went in there, like just to cycle through it one more time, make sure it was good before I saved it off. Uh, I wasn't getting the lighting, and it's like every time I was doing things, I was turning things off in the hierarchy and then running the game and forgetting that I needed to turn them back on again. So, it's definitely too tired to continue.
Oh yeah.
So let's see. Right, so there's the ship.
Hopefully the lighting will be.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to. Yeah, I was doing all sorts of stuff last night with that. So let's see, King 11. There. All right. Yeah. So sadly, I think the ship is on the wrong side of like the sun. You know.
Can you cast your light spell?
Oh yeah.
Can set the time of day.
Yeah. I don't know if the. I think that this scene is not oriented correctly. So like right now we're at 11. If I change it to like 17, yeah, I guess that'll work. All right. So, actually, the texture on the ladder was messed up too, so I redid that. I don't really know if in game if it changed anything, but this is what it was intended to look like. So,
Hmm.
and then as you can see here, the door is actually matching up with the. Maybe I did fix that because it certainly does look like it's right. Get up here and just slew.
Are you still running around in bunny ears? It's August.
Yeah, well, he's in the editor.
Now
Nobody
Good
cares.
now
grief.
it's angry aged bunny.
Yeah.
It's
So
octogenarian bunny.
this door was completely messed up. Um, at this point, I even I had it off by a little bit up here because doors, of course, would be off by a little bit. They're never going to be perfect. And I left cracks and everything where they're supposed to be. This only had one hinge on it, so I made it into two hinges, and the the door handle was actually up here. So if you could imagine climbing up the ladder, then having to reach up to open this and pull it towards you, well, you're going to be taking a swim.
Yeah, you're gonna
So
be knocking your entire body off. Yeah, the
yeah,
idea that you can't reach it from the ladder and actually duck beneath it as you open it is kind of bizarre.
yep, yep. And I even made sure that the ladder is technically below the
The
door,
door line.
so that way it doesn't cut through. So as you can see, this is how it should do it, and it opens at the proper angle, for the most part for the
Was this
hinges.
the one that
But
was the wrong color too?
Yeah,
yes, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
there are still some on other ships that need to be adjusted.
yeah. So I have to do the math, and fix the angle of this on the animation, so that way the hinges stay where they're supposed to be.
Oh, I
So
see. Yeah,
better,
Yeah.
but not perfect.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, at this point, now that of course I've said it on stream, everybody's going to notice it, but this isn't something that a lot of people are going to, be looking at. And I still have a texture that has to be remapped here, but that's about it. So overall, I mean, this is operating a hell of a lot better than it was before. This door was a complete mess.
and you did fixes to other parts of the ship as well too, didn't you?
Yeah, I went through and I mean, look at this wood. I mean, it's like this is what happens once you get the optimization going properly and you apply the texture and remap it without stretching it across the whole damn thing. So it's you gotta get really close to see blurriness now. So
Well,
I'm
and
really happy with that.
yeah, this all plays into what gets to happen as we replace the old TGA target maps with
Right.
nicely sized PNGs that have not been set to be 1/4 their actual uh, pixel resolution.
Yeah, exactly. And this is an example here. The scroll work. I have not optimized it yet. The wood is optimized, but the scroll work has not been optimized. So I believe that these are still TGAs, and are TGA files by themselves are like 4 megs a piece on disk. So previous administrations thought that the way to deal with this was just to make compress them to 50% quality. So in game, you start to see this blurriness,
Right.
and but then the image is still going into memory at more than double the size than it should if it was changed to a PNG and optimized.
And the difference is profound. The visual difference is profound. I mean, just watching the the switcheroo between some of the old cloak textures, just to see that change is pretty gratifying, because there's a lot of detail that I put into some of those things. Some of the images that for the cloaks that I did, that were just lost because suddenly it went from like a 512 image to a 128 image or whatever.
Yeah, 1024 or even higher. A lot
Yeah,
of the images in the game are actually by nature 2048, which is, a newer standard at this point. So, this mutton lamp, or mutin, mutin, I think is or whatever. I did this actually. I fixed this one up a couple months ago. Because this is used in a number of places. But
Mullion?
sorry,
Mullion?
is it mullion? A
is it?
mullion lamp?
All right. Yeah, it's like slanted something with an M lamp, but yeah. So I mean, this way I could go really close to this, and you could see, the detail of the metal, and it's not blurry at all.
Yeah,
But that still is taking up less resources now than it was before.
yeah.
So
And we're getting more detail, better detail, and not just in the regular maps, but like the diffuse maps, but also in the normal maps and the detail maps and all maps. uh,
yeah,
Elwin was saying, damn, I remember Targa from like over 20 years ago. And Elwin, you're right. I mean, for the longest time, that was the standard, and you just had to use it because if you're making games, that was the only way to do it, because that was the only lossless way to get, certain elements, certain colors. Well, those days are done, and we just never had a chance to evolve with the times. I mean, I'm so thankful for what PNGs are able to do now. So
yep. Yeah, and of course PNGs could always do it. It's just that the industry, when PNGs were introduced, the industry just basically didn't believe in it.
no, no,
So
it didn't want to adopt it. It's
yeah,
refused to adopt it. So yeah, yeah. So Elwin, you're right. I mean, it's been around forever, 20 years, all since most of my time in the industry.
ooh, what am I
Uh,
doing?
uh,
It's
back
interesting.
when I was still using DOS prompts to get into Macs.
Yeah,
Uh, oh, we should probably do, because it's
surprising.
5:53. Yeah,
Okay,
should do pricing,
all right,
and then I must flee.
no problem. All right, let me reload back into Castle Atos while we're doing that.
Do we have the new pricing prize bot things yet?
I'm running them right now.
Okay.
Pricing and pricing. Okay, they should be up in a moment. And while we're waiting for that to come up, I will say, so I was starting to talk about the infrastructure. So basically, I said, I've been going down to Austin a lot more often than my usual once a month to work with Scottie. And so doing a lot of work down at the data center um, to consolidate and optimize the hardware aspect of things now. Of course, our servers are ancient. We over the years we have put in newer servers, but those servers are not the greatest on the face of the planet either. So the server that's behind me on my table over there, we now got it to a point where I could start loading software, and my intention is to get it into the data center and then start migrating some of the production stuff. The game server itself will ride on it, and some other things like at least one of the database servers. We have 3 database servers, so at least one of the database servers will be on this server, and that'll eliminate hardware because right now we're dedicating a computer, a server, to each one of the 3 database servers. So we have 3 machines in there that are sucking up power for no reason. And as long as we have these 3 more massive machines, the one behind me has 768 gigs of RAM, and a ton of cores. I don't remember if it was, I think it's like 48 cores total. So we could virtualize on it. Then once the first one is in place, then I am going to put 2 more in. So I'm literally going to buy the second 2 servers, or the second and third server at the same time. Get that going, get them in there, and then all the stuff will migrate onto these servers. So we'll be on the same hardware for everything. It'll all be running a cluster virtual machine. It'll be all 3 of the machines will be hosting virtual machines, and they'll be clustered together. So say it the proper way. So we'll have full redundancy on it, and we'll be able to shift things back and forth if we ever need to. The real plan is to keep the 2 of the primary machines redundant for like the game. So the game server will be present on both the servers. So if anything goes wrong, then we could just swap over to the other one. Because the game server itself doesn't have a brain. It does all the stuff that communicating with clients and keeping track of where you are in the game. But anything you do is actually going through that and going back to the database server. So and then of course there'll be a database server actively running on both of those servers plus a third one. That's why I want to have 3 servers. So that way there's a database server on each one of the 3. So we have the most resiliency there. Then the third server will end up being used mainly for our development stuff. So our ticketing system, our project file tracking and things along those lines will be primarily on there. But then like the ticketing system will be on server 2, and the filing tracking system will be on server 1 as its redundancy. So it'll be spread across all 3. And this will also allow us to migrate in the future without having any other issues. The only problem I have right now with all that is that I have to buy additional electricity for the for our cabinet in the data center because we are at the cap of what we're allowed to use. So for me to be able to transition to these machines without having a hard cut, and I do not want to have a hard cut, because everything production-wise is working. So I want to be able to put the new machines in and then migrate things over one at a time. So if anything goes wrong, I can just put it back. And then once that's done, and that's the target for that is by the end of December. And we'll have ourselves on 3 new servers. All the other servers will be removed from the cabinet. And that will give us freedom to do things down the road, including change data centers, so I don't have to drive down to Austin. Well, I still drive down Austin for Scottie, but
And the prizes are up.
Okie dokie. There you go. Good timing. Alrighty. So our next set of prizes. Who wants to? I guess I'll read off the names and butcher them.
A scalloped beach umbrella goes to
Tutnik's Mare and Elier Duroc.
a floppy beach hat goes to
Setos II and Theophin Magnuson.
a large ice box goes to
Janie Murphy and Klein.
a black flaming tiki mask goes to
Rotunda Lacerte and Thorin Strongarm.
and the Watermill Village home goes to
Dyer von Satan. That's right? That one?
DAR.
Okay. And Ajax Ptolemus.
Clamnus.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like there's a vowel missing there. That's an interesting one.
Yeah. That's
I think they're a fairly new player.
That reminds me of Mr. Tumnus from Chronicles of Narnia. Okay, so congratulations to everybody who's won prizes. So I don't know how much. I guess. Well, we actually still have more to talk about, so we may actually get to the 3rd hour. Because we have. We're going to talk a little bit about lava stuff. And
for me, unfortunately, I must call an end to my day and move on to some other things. But I wanted to say thank you all very much for letting me come and present some of the stuff that we're trying to do for the houses. I know sometimes it's painful to look over that stuff and try to understand it, but believe me, we are doing our best to make improvements as we go and cause things to be cool and pave the way for me making some new cool stuff for you all to enjoy as well. So please, you all continue enjoying the live stream. You guys have fun. Thanks so much for letting me jump in today, and I will talk to you all again very soon.
Bye, Scottie.
Bye.
Yep. Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Stretch, stretch. Okay, let's see here. I could get turn off Unity.
Wow. Just got the rudest email in the inbox.
Oh, really? Why?
Yeah. Rude emails in the inbox don't get answered super fast. Just saying. Oh, mercy sakes alive. What are you looking at now?
Okay, so I'm just gonna get back. I thought I loaded back into. We're gonna try to not stay on for another hour, but yes.
That's good because I'm starving.
Yeah, me too. So, yeah, you, me, and Allie should go out and get some dinner. So,
I know, Allie, could you hurry and teleport here so we can go get some dinner?
Okay, that sounds good.
all right. So I do have, yeah. So whatever reason I'm not, it's bringing me back here. Okay, well, whatever. Well, guess we'll just stay here for a second. Make it light out though, at least. I don't know why it was doing that. Weird. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So there's one more topic on the thing. I won't take too long to go over it. I just wanted to touch base that this month, instead of trying to get all the content in for the release day, which of course ties into what I was talking about earlier, our sprint times are way too short. So basically, the cycle of this is that we do the release, which of course currently is now the last Monday of the month, and our team meetings, we shifted them to Wednesdays. So basically do the deployment, and then we watch for any critical issues, do patches if we need to. We have our meeting on Wednesday, so we start immediately talking about what we're doing for the next release as far as rewards and all that neat stuff. And then our sprint officially starts. Our development time that's what sprint is. Starts at midnight at the end of Wednesday, assuming that there's no other issues going on. So that's kind of like the go no go for starting the next release. And so this gives us more time as opposed to what was done before. And pretty much, and this is actually kind of important. This is me just talking about stuff that nobody should care about, but well, mostly. But when we go down, I'm gonna bring up the calendar so I could be a little bit accurate for this month. So we start. So our release 141 development time technically started on the 12:01 a.m. on the 31st of August, which is really early. This is good. And then we have all that time to develop all the way through till the 20 basically the 20th of August. So we get a good solid 20 days out of it now instead of 14 at the most. And on the 20th, that's our lockdown. So we want everything that's going to be in the release done and tested by then, and built up the Crown store and everything that we need, the pictures and all that neat stuff. And then if there's any cleanup to be done, we'll be doing that between the 20th, the 21st, and 22nd. So that way, the 23rd and 24th, all we're doing is making sure the builds are done, the patches are ready, and then the 25th of August, which is the last Monday of August, is when we would deploy the release. So even with all that, we're trying to expand this to make it so we could work across multiple months without having to do this type of thing with new content. So we're trying to get more organized, get ahead of ourselves, and other stuff like that, which gets more into the weeds that you probably don't need to care about. And I can almost imagine that Justin is rolling her eyes at me right now. So
You hear that from across town?
oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So the point of all this is that this release, release 140, had so much stuff in it that there was no way that I was going to be able to get all the content related type things done, tested, and good to go in time for that Monday the 28th. So I have that massive, and when I say massive, I've been working on this for a while. Obviously, you know, based on the multi-hat thing, I have to put it down every so often. The massive lava room that's based on the minecart dungeon entrance is getting very close to being done, and is targeted to be deployed on the 11th. In fact, let me briefly get Unity to play nice and come back up again. Oh, it was over on another monitor. Why did it do that to me? I have to let it catch up. You ever have a program that, you know, you have to like go at its pace instead of how fast you want to go? Come on.
Unity? What?
Yeah. Thank you. Jeez, I'm telling you. Okay. I'm gonna turn Unity back on so you guys can see. And if I don't already have it here, everything is so slow. Okay. Come on. I'm running too much stuff on this machine right now.
That is shocking.
It looks dark in there.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm in play mode. It won't let me edit it in play mode. That's why. We'll get there. It's coming. There it is. No, so maybe.
Gotta let it finish thinking.
Yep. All right. As you can see, there was a lot of thinking to do.
Oh my god.
Yeah, isn't that fun?
No.
So, and it's a lot scarier than it. It's a lot. It's a lot
I don't even
scarier
think
than
it
it
was
looks.
scary. It's triggering.
Oh, well,
Yeah, maybe turn off the wireframe there. Select
My
something
God.
and
yeah, that's what I was doing. So, of course, this is still in the editor mode. I have to yet to change the rocks to the right colors and things like that. But you can see the basic structure here. Also, you see all the popping. So that's the LODs that I have to fix. Another thing that I noticed is that if I come in on this is the main entrance here. When you're standing here, the back wall is already culled. So for anybody who's been following along our LOD conversation, this is the thing. The size of this room is so big that the game doesn't want to draw the stuff that's so far away. So I need to make some adjustments on that and make sure that it either there's some fog in the way or it'll draw the whole room. Anyway, so you got a lava lake. This is going to be the lava lake room, and it's, as I said, it's based on the minecart room, so it's pretty much got the same shape, and a lot of the rock formations are pretty much the same. But I have changed a bunch of stuff around, and as I had written in my in the release notes, that basically this is sorry, this is leading into some stuff that in the past the devs have avoided giving backstories to stuff like this. But I'm in favor of giving some backstories to pretty much everything that's in the game. So um, there's a few secrets. In fact, there's I will say that there's a secret that may not make it into the room on the 11th, but normally, even though normally we don't modify things once they're in the player's hands, the thing that I'm planning I can do because the player doesn't have access to do something in that area already. So I can do some stuff there and then uh, add on to this room, make it even more awesome later. Um, yeah. So anyway, the backstory to this, of course, I was starting to talk about ties into what's going to happen in the game. And I don't want to give things away, but I do think it's important that you guys know where we're heading. And later on in the year, we'll talk more about what's going to happen in the future at a high level. Again, I know the eyes are rolling right now, but no promises, no details type stuff. But the direction I'm taking with this. So basically, uh, uh, and this goes, take this in the vein of, the entire Ultima history. Okay. Uh, of course, we're on New Britannia, which was renamed from Britannia, which was renamed from Caesarea. I have no problem saying this out loud. I can't put it in the game, due to certain evil overlords that are out there, but it's known. This is what it is. It's, so that history is still there, but there's a history of Caesarea that occurred before Ultima became a thing. So we are going to have some stuff happen in this game, and we're going to have some things appear in the game that will establish the canon and the lore for what's happened before Ultima and what's going on after. And to say this is coordinated, Lord British is involved. He knows what's going on. The storylines are outlined and set. So it's going to be a ride. There's going to be some good stuff in here. It's good, obviously, small team, taking some longer time to get it in place. But once we get this thing going, it's going to be really cool. So this lava room, actually, this isn't really even the very first one where I started putting this stuff in place. The Lord of the Isle basement, even though that's only going to a select few people because that's based on previous methods of doing the pledges and stuff like that. When I built that scene or that zone, I had a backstory in mind, which ties into the episode 3, 4, and 5. And so this also will tie into episode 3, 4, and 5. There's obviously going to have to be some suspension of disbelief from players because you're going to have, any number of people could have this room in their player dungeon. But this room will be in an adventure dungeon as well. So as you guys know, we've in the past been taking like, the Rise, the dog room, all these other library rooms, things like that, out of zones that we have, adventure scene zones or dungeons that we have in the game for you to go play, and now you could use them as a room in your dungeon. I'm going to do the opposite now as well. So some of these rooms, like this one here, this will actually become part of a larger dungeon that's going to be in the game with mobs in it and all that neat stuff. And of course, some quest lines and things that will explain the lore in the background. So the bottom line here is the backstory in general is that these rooms were discovered and they're ancient, they pre-existed, and it could only be theorized what they were used for. And so some civilization or some intelligence that was on the planet prior to the days of the earliest Ultimas had been manipulating the lava flows, and in this case, we suspect that they were using this room as a fishery to raise coelacanths and things like that. So, okay, so that's pretty much the overall on that. Because again, we're all tired and hungry. So, was there anything else that I missed that we want to talk about?
We did put in lava hallways and transition pieces to connect them to plainstone dungeon rooms. I think you're also planning on changing the textures on the entrances of the 2 pre-existing lava rooms to match up with those hallways.
Yes, exactly. So like these here, these are the placeholders. They're just the regular ancient stone. So any of the rooms that have lava in them like this will end up being volcanic, which is
Yep.
really just a darker version. So.
And also you had plans for a water version.
Yes. Excuse me. Yeah, this is. I'm definitely gonna have to stop soon. I'm losing my voice. Um, Yeah, so basically, all the lava rooms that I've made, I'm thinking, well, I shouldn't say all, most of the lava rooms I made, because like the lava pool room, of course, was taken from one that was already water, so that has a water version of it. And the same thing, I believe, goes with the lava grotto. That was also a water one already. So this one will have a lava version and a water version. The intention on the 11th will be that this room will be deployed as a deco version and as a spawn a bull version. And of course, that's why we've been putting out the essences out there for the fire elementals.
Yeah, I still need to save up more. I've only got like 30 essences.
Yeah, these are just examples. I staged these for the pictures I was taking. But yeah, the room is going to have when for the spawnable room, there will be fire elementals throughout this room and things along those lines. But um, yeah, and then of course there'll be a boss in here as well, which you may or may not have met already. So we'll see. Um, and then of course the water version will be the same room, but it'll have water in it and water in the aqueducts and things along those lines. And of course the rocks will be more like these rocks instead of the volcanic rocks.
Those aqueducts are really cool.
Yeah, I love them, and of course this is actually I'm going to cheat and go down here. It's there. This thing is deep, so you know one day because I would love to be able to get underwater, and even though you won't survive it very long under lava, um, camera angles. You know, to show that off, and maybe there'll even be some lava fish physically floating around down here. Yeah. So oh, and one of the things with this is to say I'm rebuilding this mesh. This is a new skill set that I have. And so these are kind of some of the stuff is placeholder like like that. But um, I can go in here and take all the lava that's in these aqueducts and make it into one actual mesh that goes across, so it's animated and doesn't have these seams. See if you go in here, look, there's actually like a Y seam like on that, and so I'm going to try to get rid of the seams and have the lava actually flowing. You know, from I'm going to here. I'm going to use my see like that, and this, and then so and then of course I have to curl. I'm going to curl this lava into an actual you know round flow of water or lava, that type of thing. So um, and things along those lines. So I don't know. There are a lot of details. There's still a lot of work for me to do in here. And once this is done, this is going to be the largest dungeon room that we have, I believe.
Yeah, we might need to make a public QA build for it before you stick it in the store.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. I want to get back into that habit. As I said, the problem we have, of course, is that the team is so small now that there's absolutely no time to do anything. That's why widening our schedules and making those adjustments will allow us to go back and do the things that I tried to establish when I first came onto the team. You know, one of those was the consistent updating of the QA server and testing directives and things along those lines. So, and if everything goes well, then we will continue, you know, getting like I have an intern coming in now, and if everything works out with what he's doing, obviously he's going to be concentrating on social media and website presence and things along those lines, Facebook and such. If we could get that going and getting more real marketing going on, because you guys know I've been marketing now for the last 3 or 4 months, and starting to ramp that up. But then it's like literally, if I do this, I can't do that, and we just don't have enough personnel to do all the things to keep things going. That's also one of the reasons why, as we move forward with the storylines and everything I've talked about, we're not making, we're not going to go and make promises, and we're not going to be doing things where we're taking in new ideas from anybody, even ourselves, left and right. There's going to be a scope, and we're not going to something called scope creep. Is it's you know certain people who have the name Lord in front of their name and British at the end of their name love scope creep, and just that's a great idea. Let's do that, and that's that. We're not doing that.
Just said that as his middle name.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, scope creep, Lord Scope Creep British.
Yep.
And he's my friend. I know him. He's okay, but I think he'd admit it that he's kind
He
of
would admit
chaotic
it.
like that.
I mean,
So
he does have plenty of good ideas. He just doesn't know.
well, it's all about scheduling them, and instead of having them all happen at once, there should have been more laying out the plan and doing that, that way. But that's what we've been working on for the last 6 years to fix. And so obviously development with new content is slowed down. Some things have been put to the side so that way we can get the stability back, and reset expectations. So as we go into 2026, we're going to, you guys will now see advancement, new stuff happening, new content and things along those lines. So um, yeah, actually, it is common amongst famous game devs. Actually, it's also common amongst other devs in every industry. So, but it's just very visible in IP like this. So, but anyway, with all that said, that's where we're heading. As I said, closer to the end of the year, we'll talk about more stuff that's going to be happening in 2026. And I will say now that our anniversary celebration, which we've been doing in December, shifting that to January. Obviously, the actual anniversary is like, I think it's December 16th. Um, but there's too much with the holidays going on and everything. And this last year, I tried to, as part of like this whole thing, increasing our time frame to work on stuff, I tried to eliminate the November and December short releases, which basically aren't even worth doing because the only thing we could possibly do during those is the subscriber rewards and the login rewards. So even this year, I think the release dates are published on the website as it is, and they're pretty solid as far as that's concerned. But obviously, we'll have to see how things go as we get there. But I want to try to make it more consistent and not have these short releases because they do more harm than they do good, especially with a team this small. If the team was larger, it gave people at, let's say, Portalarium time off to, for family and friends. But, we're all crazy people and work through our holidays. So, uh,
Speaking of Scope Crate,
yes. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. So
Isn't
anyway,
that logical?
what was that? What logical? Yeah. So anyway, thanks for spending the time with us. And obviously, sorry for the rollback that occurred, and know what happened, and it won't happen again as far as that cause and effect. And you guys know it's been 3 years since we had something like that. Actually, more than 3 years. So that's not a common occurrence, and luckily, this is one that we were able to nip in the bud pretty quickly. And and get it resolved. But, of course, it impacted players, so this is not something that we want to have happen in any way, shape, or form, no matter what. So, but anyway, thank you very much, and we will continue to do stuff. So the bottom line here is that on the 11th, I'm going to be doing another deployment. So the server may or may not have to go down to when we do that, like a full-blown deployment. It depends on how many things I have to touch on the server side. We'll advise ahead of time on that on the forums or something and say what we're planning on doing. But the worst case scenario is it'll be a client patch that'll come out on the 11th that'll have the new content that we're aiming to do. So it's kind of like release 140.5, and then the next content patch will be at the end of October, where I'm hoping to have the dungeons on Birch Island started up. So at least one of the dungeons will be live at that point. And if anybody was paying attention to some of the stuff I was doing over the last week, you may have seen a new monster, or how does a Doctor Who's thing go? You might one day decide to revisit an old face or a new one. So have a nice night, guys. We're gonna go eat now.
Yay, dinner.
Yay.
As soon as I get there.
Good night, guys.
Yep, exactly. See you guys later.
Good night.